Hey everyone, it's Mike with Bigfoot's Wilderness. Before we start the encounter story, I just wanted to say I will continue to take email addresses for the coffee mug raffle. I'll include the link in the description box so you can register. So check it out. Also, I now offer t-shirts, sweatshirts, and coffee mugs with a great design and lots of color options. I'll also put that in the link description. Thanks for your support, and let's get into the story. It's called Special Delivery for Bigfoot. Hello. I was referred to you by my sister because I understand you're interested in my encounter I had back in '87. My name is Rob, and I had something happen that I still can't believe. I had a very close encounter with what must have been a Bigfoot. I'm far from being an authority on the matter, but what else could it have been? I've never been so frightened, and I can think of a few extra adjectives to go with that. I almost considered quitting my job, but I really needed the money at the time and had to reconsider because I like my job and my bosses. They're not to blame. It's hard in life to find something you really like and hang on to it. Okay, let me rewind a little bit. My parents and I moved to Virginia from Hawaii. My dad was in the Army, and his last post before retiring was on the Big Island. It was an incredible 10 years in paradise. We relocated to Virginia because our extended family had roots here. We moved to the Richmond area, and I went to work for a major delivery service. I won't mention any names, but I think you get the picture. Anyway, I'd been employed for about a year as a package delivery driver. You know, the ones that go house to house? Well, just a few weeks after I started, my route suddenly changed. Someone had quit, and even though I was pretty happy with what I had, I just wanted to be a team player, and I agreed and said, sure, I'll take it. So I started my new route, and immediately it was so much different to experience being in the sticks. Deliveries were spread out, which made for longer drive times in the truck. I'd go to Farmville and all across Cumberland County, and sometimes further west to Appomattox. The days seemed longer with the extended driving. I kind of regretted my decision, since there wasn't as much physical activity. The stops were few and far between, but the scenery made up for some of it. Well, on this one particular day, I was delivering to a residence that was way off the beaten path. Now, this was over 30 years ago. I remember turning off the main road, which was Route 45, but I can't recall the name of the side road. As I explored down this unfamiliar road, I noticed that there weren't any trees. It was barren of life. Obviously, trees once stood here, but the land had been stripped of them. This area must have been logged recently. There was hardly a weed or a blade of grass to be found in this barren wasteland. It seemed to go on for miles as I weaved the truck around each turn. In the distance, I could see mountains, and the one-lane road was leading me right to them. They seemed small, but still impressive for this area. Of course, they didn't hold a candle to Mauna Kea, but that's actually a volcano. It kind of made me miss my home back in Hawaii. Even though it was fall and barely a leaf to be seen on a tree, the mountains had a beautiful turquoise color. I thought maybe I'd make a trip back here sometime and see about going hiking. I imagine the view would have been quite beautiful. I arrived at the delivery point, my last drop of the day. The sky was taking on shades of orange. Dusk was moving in. The road narrowed and turned sharply right. I think my truck can just squeeze through. So I rev my engine and ease into the turn. Now there's lots of trees everywhere. This private area is shady and dark and eerie. Gently, the trees drape across the road, and I could hear branches scraping the top and sides of my truck. The road was full of potholes and roots from the massive overgrown trees that lined the side of the road. My truck kept bottoming out from potholes that lined the drive. I played with the accelerator and would rev my engine to try and escape from being sucked in. Steering right and then left, I finally made it to the residence. A rustic A-frame log cabin style home. Lots of windows, but it was obvious they hadn't been cleaned in a while. And the yard, well, it was a mess. Very little grass, mostly weeds and plenty of dirt. I carried the packages to the front door, rang the bell, but it didn't seem to work. I knocked on the door. No answer. I couldn't leave the packages without authorization. I actually kind of dreaded coming back here, especially with that nightmare driveway. But there were multiple cars here. Mind you, they were beat up, but where are the people? So I decided to do a walk around the house. The side of the house was long, and I followed the narrow dirt path around to the back of the house. Hello? Hello? I have a package delivery. Hello? Anyone home? Okay, I'm done. Regrettably, I'm going to have to make another trip back out here. I can't waste any time here. It's almost dark out. I decided to take one last look inside the house. As I peered into one of the windows and cupped my hands around my face, I saw something move. A dark silhouette. But it wasn't inside the house. It was on the other side of the house. Where I came from, at the front. Holy crap, what was that? Is somebody messing with me? I backed off the window and stepped down onto the ground. I lost sight of the shadow, but it was time to get back to the truck. My heart was in my throat, and I proceeded with slow and steady steps. As I rounded the back to the front yard, my head was on a swivel. I was looking for that shadow. I had a feeling like something was watching my every move, like there were eyes fixed on me. That's when I decided to make a run for the truck. Now, at this time in my life, I'm 27, I'm lean, and can run like the wind. The truck is 30 yards away. Time to go. I dash for the truck, and as I do, I feel a series of thuds. The ground is shaking. Out of my right ear, I could hear crashing coming towards me. It kind of sounded like a bulldozer. I turned my head to the right, just in time to see that shadow running from within the woods directly at me. I made a running jump and landed in the open sliding side door. I grabbed the door and slammed it shut. I then dove over and slammed the driver's side door shut as well. Slam! Something hit my door. I started up the truck and gunned the gas. I was struggling to turn the truck around. Next thing I know, I hear a slam! Something hits the other side of my truck. I yell in a panic. All right, I'm leaving. Jesus, get me out of here. As I cleared the turn away from the house, I looked down that wooded driveway and let out a whimper. Please don't let me wreck this truck. Slam! Another hit. I yelled back, okay. I must have checked my mirrors 100 times. Nothing was following me. I can't see anything. My whole body is shaking. I'm stuttering. I can't remember how I made it out of that driveway, but when I got to the end of the road, at the main route, I just stopped the truck. I felt like I was in a daze. I must have sat at the intersection for 20 minutes. I was suddenly awakened from my trance by a horn. I sprung from my seat and let out a shriek. Oh my God! I collected myself and slid the door open and hung my head out. An older man emerged from the vehicle. Hey, are you okay? Huh? I said. I noticed your truck barreling down my road. Huh? You mean that was your house? Well, no, I live across the road. Nobody lives there anymore. That house was foreclosed on. You look like you've seen a ghost. Any way I can take the package for you? I can get in touch with them. Thanks, I said. I saw something. My God, it was some kind of wild animal. It chased me down. I was lucky to get away. Yeah, he said, I've had a few run-ins with the Bigfoot around here too. What? I said, Bigfoot? Well, they don't bother me anymore since I started target shooting on my property. Put some spotlights up too. You poor fella. Come on back to my house and I'll get you something to drink. You look like you could use a... No, I said. I'll be fine. Here, take the package. Oh, okay, he said. By the way, before you leave, you may want to wipe those handprints off your truck. Handprints? What are you talking about? The old man pointed toward the top part of my bay door. Yeah, you might want to clean those off. The top of the door had to be close to 9 feet off the ground. Yeah, good idea, I said. I walked the rest of the truck, only to find another large handprint right by my passenger side sliding door, the door that I dove in to escape from the Bigfoot. He must have been steps behind me. That lump in my throat was getting bigger. Well, I cleaned off the prints, and I thanked the old man for help. The ride home was uneventful. I kept thinking about my family. Could I tell them? Actually, I only confided in my sister. She was very calm and let me tell my story. Years went by, and I finally mentioned it to her that I wanted to tell my story to someone. That's when my sister's friend mentioned you. Thanks for talking with me. I feel like I've just got some much-needed therapy. This experience will never leave me, but at least I know I'm not crazy. And as for the job, well, I stayed with it. I retired from that company, and yes, I changed routes. I went back to school, finished my degree, and moved up a few levels. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate your help, and feel free to call or drop by anytime. And we don't have to talk about Bigfoot.